Hi everyone, and welcome to R2-D2. I'm Andy, and this is episode 7 of the Mk3 R2 build. And in this episode, I'm just going to be building the legs, the main superstructure legs, with the actual greeblies attached to it. And it's relatively quick, so let's see how we get on. Okay, so what I have in front of me are all the pieces for both legs. Just the legs, not the ankles, I should point out. I've already marked them left and right, because I'm bound to get them mixed up. So the left leg and the right pieces. And the evil item, actually, you will have noticed that this print failed half. Stay. You'll notice this print failed halfway through. I then restarted the print from the failed bit upwards, which means I can just glue these on. And they will just glue on like that. I've removed the brims. I've removed almost all the brims. I'll do that properly in a minute. And I've gone around with the what should we call it? What is it called? Deburring tool. Wow, that's hard. I've gone around with the deburring tool and tidied it up a bit. There's still some bits that need tidying up. What I haven't done, unless it's already fallen off, is removed any of the built-in supports. So there were built-in supports here. You can see the other one here. And it just snaps off, which now gives me access to here to clean this up. And as you can see, the pieces jigsaw together, so it needs a bit of tidying up, but that will jigsaw together like that. You see, it's like a double jigsaw as well. I've also got a bit of support material here that needs cleaning up, just along here. And there are some more supports here and here, and I've got to take these supports out here, which is where the under shoulder hydraulics bits go. Can't actually remember what they're called off the top of my head. So these supports need removing, preferably without cutting myself in the process, and then, as I said, that gives me access to here to clean these up. So I'll do that. So there's support under every jigsaw piece, including the lower ones. There were supports here, as you've just seen. And there's a support line here that needs removing. And then on here, that doesn't have any supports. On the fail piece, obviously I've got the support. I can't quite see. On the fail piece, I've got the supports here that need removing. And likewise, where the print continues, I've got the rest of the supports. That's going to need removing before I glue the piece together, otherwise I'm going to end up gluing the support to the bit I want to keep. Yeah, and the supports here as well need removing. So I will get on with that, and when I cut back, we should be good to start dry fitting, or at least see what we need to sand to make it dry fit. Right, so I've taken all the supports off, as you can see, and I've had a quick go at dry fitting. And so this is the left leg, and I just slot that into position, so that goes in quite nicely, it seems to, although it's not, well, you're going to see that it's not sitting flush. It's flush here, but not here. Sorry, not here. That would suggest there's a kilt on there somewhere. I've tried cleaning these biscuit joints out as much as I can, and likewise I've cleaned them out here as well, even though these are the top. But anyway, so that would go like that. Now these are the fail pieces that go on top, and you can see I've already had a quick go at sanding the edges just so they'll fit. And, again, the centre is more or less flat. This side's poking up a bit, and this side's more or less flat. So if I lift it up over here, yeah. So see, I think the whole thing's on a twist, because on the other side, this is the flat edge, and this is the raised edge. On this side, this is the flat edge, this is the raised edge. So something's warped can't quite tell where. Probably won't matter too much because I'm going to have to sand this anyway and fill it to get rid of the join marks, because I'm fairly sure this bit's going to be visible. Or would it? Because that would be where the booster cover... No, the booster covers would be... So the ankles go up to about here, I think. And then the booster cover... No. So the ankle goes up to there. Yeah, the ankle goes up to here. Which means that's going to be the booster covers. So most of that's going to be covered, not all of it. Right, so assume that this has been glued together. You then got the top piece, and as you can see, you've got the jigsaw pieces here, and the corresponding holes here. Likewise on here, and that should then attach in like that. Now, that has gone flat, which suggests there is still a bit of support material in there somewhere. But yeah, that's essentially how it goes together. And we're trying the other leg. Yeah, I can already tell this is going to need more cleaning. It's not even attempted to go together. So there's a lot more cleaning needs happening there. Yeah, that's well out. Have I got these mixed up? Actually, strangely, something I just noticed. Oh no, it is there. Yeah, it's like a. Can you see that sort of mark there? I didn't think that was because it's on there, but I didn't think it was here. But it's on the other side. Yeah, that's. Okay, my phone's going nuts. Yeah, that's going to need a bit of convincing to go together, so that's going to need sanding. I expected that. But likewise, that's all it really needs. That's all it needs for the legs. Just push it together. So I'm going to need to sand these bits here and these bits, and I'll probably attempt to try and sand in here a bit, though it's difficult even with a file. Again, I just noticed there's a bit of brim that needs cleaning up, but that needs sanding, and these need sanding, and then they should just latch together, and then we just glue all the way along here. Actually, it could benefit from sanding here as well, just to sort of smooth it out a bit. Bit more brim as well. Ah, did a good job cleaning that off, didn't I? Yeah, it's a bit of sanding, and then it'll just be some that stuff across here and here and here, and then say clamp it together. Maybe just put a heavy weight on there. Just clamp it, try and get it as flat as possible. And oh, the string in here, it's going to be covered up. You don't have to get rid of it. If you want to tidy it up because it's not supposed to be there, fine. But it's not structural. It's not going to be seen. It's not going to affect the droid in any way because you put in what? Well, in this case, this is for the abandoned automatic 232 idea. So your wires are going down this one. They could go down here as well. But your wires are going down here. This isn't actually being used for anything. So you don't have to worry about tidying it up. Anything inside these channels, they aren't going to be seen. Likewise, anything around here as well, it's all going to be covered up by the horseshoe and the booster cover, and then ultimately the shoulder hub mount point thing. I can't remember what it's called now. So that's going to be me for the next 20 minutes or so. I don't want to glue these pieces in just yet, because I want to make sure that when the print fails and it's sliced, and then I dropped the print down in Cura, down to this level and then printed it, I haven't gone accidentally too high, and actually that this is going to be endemic all the way along. Yeah, I don't want to have a really high strip all the way along that I've got to try and... Well, I won't be able to sand it back because it'll be... Effectively, I'll be revealing infill after that point. So that, if that becomes a problem, I'm just going to reprint this bit entirely. but I won't know until this is tidied up, so I can actually get it to sit as level as I can. So lots of sanding in my future. 3D printing, lots of sanding. Okay, I've been sanding, and something you definitely should not do is get impatient like me. And I took a mallet to it. I mean, it's together. Don't get me wrong, it's together. Yeah, I mean, you could take a mallet to it. It went together. It's not moving. I'm going to put some glue in there eventually. Likewise, I've been sanding here, and it's just about starting to go. I may end up having to take a mallet to this as well, to be fair. I mean, that just push it down that little bit. It's already stuck. So a bit more sanding, and then I might end up taking a mallet to it. This one I haven't looked at yet, but it seems to be going together better. And I'm not quite sure what the difference is. They're printed on the same printer. I suppose the main difference being some of it's grey and some of it's white. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what the. I suppose yeah, the big problem here is that bit, which is white on white. So potentially yes, it's the change of colour has changed the dimensionality somewhat between where these interact and where these interact compared to white on white, which I'm finding here. So I'm going to carry on sanding. I probably will end up taking a mallet because I've done it here. But yeah, I'm just going to hit it gently but firmly. That's the thing. Get these together. I'll take a look at this leg and see where we're going and see if this is too high overall. From what I'm seeing here, the jigsaw pieces appear to be, sitting slightly proud. It appears to be a normal thing, so it's just going to get sanded down. So I'm not too worried. I'll find out more when I get to this point. More sanding, so gentle thwacking. Then have a look here. Yeah, I malleted this one as well. So it's together. It's fairly stable. Still needs gluing. I'm going to say it's flat. It's certainly flat to here. But if you look at this side, there's see it. It's certainly flat on this side. Ignoring these jigsaw pieces. But if you turn it over, there's a definite step change here. I suspect it'll flatten out once it's been sanded. And also, likewise, the horseshoe covers this bit entirely anyway, so there might be a slight gap here. And this is the forward face, so the leg is like that on R2. So the front of the body's here. So it might become noticeable, but in saying that, I've got to seal that gap anyway. Part of me seems to just skin it in styrene. Yeah, so that's one together, and something I noticed putting together is there's 3 key jigsaw pieces there. I don't know what they're for yet. I mean, I'm assuming. So obviously the M8 the M8 bolts that we had last week go through these 4 holes here. They go through like that, and then screws will be on there. I suppose. Yes, there must be. Which is fine. And then, but I don't think there's anything else here, because the only other thing that would go there is the. Let me grab one. Yeah, it's one of these, and that sits in there. That seems too big a hole. So there must be something else here. I mean, this is a resin one that I had for years on the old styrene droid from JD Parr. So I'm assuming I need to go back and check that the Michael Bad ones have a back on them. They attach to the back. I have to double check. Anyway, that leg is done. Just needs gluing. As I said, this leg needs looking at as well. So I now know roughly what my level should look like. It should be fairly level, which means that when this goes together, this should also be fairly level. If it's not, then these are the problem. What I might do is end up sanding from the bottom. Yeah, sanding from the bottom. I think they should be okay, but we'll see. So I'm going to start sanding this one now. I'll put this one to the side so it's out of the way. I hopefully won't have to mallet it together, because if I do, then I'm screwed with this bit. But we'll see. Right, so I've done the dry fit of, well, sanded, and then I've done a dry fit of this bit. And if that's pushed down, there is a tiny bit of raising. Tiny bit, and potentially some of that might still go away if that's pushed down slightly more. I mean, that's more or less flat. It's not as flat as the other one was, but it's more or less flat. So if I can get rid of that last little bit, which I suspect is these little overhangs here, then I should be okay. And my drop down on Cura worked. I still haven't decided which is the best way to glue it, whether to glue it together like that and use this bit as the level, or glue it hit this side and use this bit as the level. And purely because, or even just put the whole thing together, slot these back in afterwards. It could work like that. I mean, it's flat there. It's not quite flat there. No, that bit does feel quite flat. So, yeah, I think it's just a bit more sandy, and then that'll. Well, in fact, I haven't sanded there at all, so that's probably half my problem. So I'm going to carry on sanding a bit more. I'm going to give these jigsaw bits a good go over. Yeah, that doesn't have one. On both sides. And I'm going to try clearing out the underside, the equivalents of these bits on here as well, and see how it looks. Happy with that now. It's been sanded a bit, and it's now sitting. It's coming out now, but overall it's flatter. That's these biscuit joints, jigsaw joints here are sitting flatter, and lift it without moving it too much. It's quite hard. It's fairly flat on the bottom. Likewise on this side. This side is as flat as I can get it. I potentially could have. I might have another quick go at sanding these bits here. And clean out in here just to be sure. Actually, yeah, there's a couple of lumps there. I'll make sure that's cleaned out. But it now means I'm happier with this side, that I can glue these in as well. So they can get glued in, and I'm happy with that. Just bear in mind when you make yours, you probably won't have this problem. You would have noticed that it's going wrong and stopped it and restarted it. I set it off overnight, came back down in the morning like, oh. And I didn't want to waste all the filaments, so I thought I'd just print off what I carry on. I've done this enough times that I'm used to doing it. Yeah, so I think I'm ready to glue. No, sand that a bit more, then I'm ready to glue. So as I said before, I'm going to use the EMA wells, and I'm going to put glue effectively all around these edges here, and around these edges here, and likewise along here as well. And just clamp it together, well, not clamp, but press it together, and that should give me a nice strong join. And likewise for these bits, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scuff this up. That's already been scuffed with the file, just trying to make sure it's level, because obviously because it failed halfway through the print, there's a change in layer line. Well, they got about halfway along and stopped, so like half a layer's done of walls. So I've flattened that out as much as possible, which has meant that this is now more level than it was. So yeah, that'll be scuffed up. That's already scuffed up. Lots of EMA, plonk on, hold in place, and then that'd be job done. So yeah, I'll quickly sand that, glue that, using the worst brush in the world, and make sure I wear those doing it. Right, I apologise for the noise you're about to hear because the window's open for ventilation and I have the mask on. So that's probably why you can't understand me very well. So let's start gluing. Really strong. So we're doing this. Essentially what I'm doing here is I'm putting enough EMA on to get past the PLA's natural melting point, or melting point's the wrong term here. PLA is going to resist trying to glue together like this, but EMA does actually work really well as a glue. So essentially I'm trying to get it melt it enough that it starts to become tacky, which it has done. And that's more or less stuck together now already. But now what I'm going to do is actually make proper glue around here, along the edge. Bearing in mind I've got to put the other layer on. I'm hoping you can understand me. So I'm just brushing it into the join mark. And probably using more than I should need to. But there we go. So now what I need to do is keep it flat as possible. Keep it as flat as possible and just let it dry. I need to make sure the EMA is actually munched in. So that's probably pretty much ready. Quick, I know. So let's look here. Again, that's going to go together quite well. Bear in mind if this is the full piece, like the other leg, which won't come apart, so I'm going to have to glue that differently. At this point, it would look more like this trying to go together. So in some ways I made my job a little bit easier lining it up because I don't have two layers of biscuit joints to go through. But always keep the lid on this stuff when you're not using it because it evaporates really quickly. And you probably should be a little more careful with it than I am. In fact, you can be a lot more careful with it than I am. I tend to slop it on more than I probably need to. That's just probably just pure laziness. See what I mean? Probably don't want to do that. Because now I'm going to have to put this on. Right. Okay. Just glue in the join marks. Glad I didn't get this mask off. Okay, be careful here. So I see a slight warp. So let's make sure that it's flat as it's to be. Right. Just putting these in. So they're in the right place. Okay, you can see by putting these grey bits in. Let's now put a line across here. The question is this flat? That would have been fun. How's that bowed? It doesn't look like it, but there is quite a big gap there. Well, glue's done its job. Right, mask off. Right, I think what I need to do is give these edges a bit more of a sand so they're not pushing the leg open. That's essentially what's happening there. It's pushing the leg open, pushing the leg like that, ever so slightly. But that's what I need to do. So I'll just quickly give it a bit of sand, and then I can just glue this bit on, and I think we're done. And I can glue the other leg. Sand it down. So let's try gluing them on. Mouse back on. It doesn't look like I did scuff it up. Okay. Wait. So that's glued. So essentially it's just the same thing. More glue here and here and here. Get that all glued in, and then that's this leg done. And then we'll repeat the other leg. So I'm actually going to do that off camera because I can do it quicker without, because I don't have to worry about angles and stuff. And I'll cut back when this is done, because really you don't need to do this. If you're at this point, then at least you know how to fix it. But likewise, you shouldn't need to get to this point either. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, that's good. I don't know why I still got my mask on. Oh, that's glued. So that's, I wouldn't say it's dry, but it's glued. Once it's dry, it'd be stronger. But it's certainly dry enough for me to pick up. It's not going to flex much. But if I was to really go for it and twist it, it probably would pop apart. So yeah, that's done. That's one leg done. The left leg, incidentally. So the next step is to glue the other leg. Like so. So this is a good chance to see whether it is level. It has bowed. Ooh, there might be a slight bowing here. I don't think it's on this one. I think it's on this one. It's the bit we talked about earlier where there's a slight step change here. Right. So that seems okay. So I'll put this to the side to dry. Another use for a 3D printer, a drying rack. Right. Because this one is already together, forcibly, I'm going to glue it. I'm going to do the second stage of gluing, which is basically running the paintbrush around the edges to the join and then squishing it together. I might also quickly give it a quick... sure that made the camera shake then. Don't know what that was. Actually I do. Chopper's wires. Right, so where were we? Yeah, so in this case it's just running the glue around the joints. This is what your leg should look like when it's together, not how my other one looked like with the pieces missing. But at least you can see what it should look like all in one piece. On which note, I'm going to glue it. So that's all glued. what it might need is a quick sand over the top, and then we need to start thinking about putting magnets in here. So you can see we've got 4 magnets here, 4 magnets here. We've got a magnet here and a magnet here, a magnet here. I think that's a magnet there as well. This strip of magnets is for the booster cover, and these 4 magnets are for the horseshoe. So what we used to do is put epoxy the magnets in as normal. I'm going to double check about how many magnets there are here. I think having 3 there seems a bit odd. It probably is right, but anyway, I'm going to leave this dry, and then we'll go back and have a look at putting the magnets in. As you may have noticed, there's an ankle on this leg, and that's because I want to check something. This is the long ankle for 232, and you can tell because although the ankle's the same size on all builds, this recess is lower down on a standard leg. So I haven't sanded this, just slides in and will go down lower for a standard leg. 232, this is a longer leg. I've just held this up against my styrene R2, and it is actually about that much longer. This is the booster cover of my styrene R2, and this is a Mark II, I think, booster cover. So that magnet there should line up with these 2 slots here. And they're just slightly off, but I don't know how well this is going to show. If I just turn this around, look how much of a gap I got between the bottom of the booster cover and the ankle. Now, fine, fair enough. That's the old R2's booster covers, which I was hoping to reuse. That's not going to be the case. These are what I printed for this droid, for the alternate ID that my droid has, which is Ace, reverse colour scheme. So here we go. We've got the 2 magnet pieces. I can more or less line them up. I think effectively I need to make sure that this bit's covered up. So it's covered up, but again we've got that. So I'm a little confused because I thought I printed the long versions of these, and I don't think I have. I thought I had. Also, the print quality is a bit awful. So I could just reprint. It'll probably save me a lot of time later on. I can reprint, which I might do. The other option I got is I've just been going through the files, and I've noticed there's a booster extension, which essentially is this bit. Again, that you print and stick to. It's got the peg there, and it's got the hole on the other side. So essentially you would line that up like that, and then these booster points go in there, and that would solve that issue for me. It's just another seam to have to fill, but as it is, I've got to print another set of these anyway, because I need blue ones for R2 and silver ones for Ace. The reason I did this because of magnets. I was trying to work out what magnets I needed. So these 2 holes here are these 2 holes, so that's the booster cover. These 4 holes I knew were for the horseshoe. That's fine. It was these 2 holes here I wasn't sure about, and I think they're actually for the booster strut, which is the bit that goes here, the sort of the aluminium tube with a sort of shape there. I'm assuming that goes there, and then this must be another magnet for the aluminium tube, or the tube. Yeah. It's not something I need to worry about now, for this, especially for this video, because I'm just doing the legs. But it now means I need to set this off. So either print the extension, which would save me time in not having to reprint this. But likewise, I don't know how this is going to show. It's not going to show very well on camera, but it might do. The print quality when I printed this isn't very good. I think the nozzle must have been on its way out at the time. I was just trying to push it that little bit further. So that's something that I need to think about. You don't need to worry about that. There'll just be a booster cover to put on at some point. But now I know what are magnets, so definitely these 4 and these 2. I mean, these are different size magnets again, so maybe they're not magnets. Maybe they're just pegs. Yes, I'll see. I mean, those are pegs there that correspond with those holes on the bottom there. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand this leg, this side of the leg entirely. Although it is smooth, this would have been the top. And for the most part, it's all right. I want to make sure this is as smooth as possible before I start putting magnets in, because I don't want to then sand over the top of the magnet and ruin the magnet. I will have to sand it anyway because I'm bound to get resin overlaps. I always do. But I don't want to really heavily sand the front of this leg while the magnet's there. So that's what I'm thinking so far. Yeah. So I think a reprint's in order of this. But in the meantime, we'll carry on with this.
Yeah. Reprint on the way. I reckon 14 hours for each of these, so we'll see. They were the wrong ones that I just showed you on just now. So these are the new long ones, which only just fit. So yeah, keeps going for about 14 hours. So apologies for the rest of the video. You can hear the printers going in the background. Slightly unavoidable.
Right. So the booster cover question has been answered. Therefore, the ankle question has been answered. That means there's one more thing that I'm not using on my old droids going onto the new droids. There's very little of the old droid going on the new droid at this point, which is a shame. Just means more printing. That might mean I have to reprint the horseshoes as well. I might not have to. Anyway, so as I just said, the booster covers are printing, the new ones, and that'll be for a later video. So now we know about the magnets, we can concentrate on magnets. So they are 10 by 5mm N52 neodymiums, same as any other thing that I've used so far. And it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 neodymium magnets plus the opposing ones on the pieces when they're ready. Now this is entirely up to you, but general convention is to have all the polarity of all these magnets the same on both legs, so that these pieces are interchangeable. And that's the whole buttons front, buttons rear argument about R2. You know, the two little nut things and the booster strut, the hydraulic strut. Is it facing forward or facing backwards? If the polarity is the same, you can just take the horseshoes off and do that, and then it can be either way around you want. Less so for the booster covers, as they're pretty much identical. So yeah, so next up it's it's gluing the magnets in. So I'll grab those, grab the epoxy, grab my serial killer gloves, and then we'll get on with that. I sanded these very quickly with a 120 grit mouse sander. So now it's time for magnets. So as I said before, 10 by 5 N52s, and I've marked the top of each one with an X, so I know that the polarity is the same. And in this case, I'm going to have X at the top, and that's purely because I just checked with my existing horseshoes. The blank side of the magnet is facing outwards, so I need that. So I'm just going to mix up the epoxy, put a bit of epoxy in each of these holes, toss a magnet in, and pretty much job done then. So I'll mix up the epoxy, and then I'll cut back and you can watch me glue a couple in, and then I'll just do the rest off camera. Ready to go. No metal rods this time going through the body, so hopefully the magnets will stay where I put them. Bit of epoxy. Yeah. Seriously, need to find a better way to put this in. Right. And in this case, I want X on the top. And keep that level. There we go. Just like that. Just got to be careful now not to put epoxy in this hole. I mean, you could use super glue and baking soda. That'll work just as well. I just prefer using this, although I don't appear to have mixed up enough as normal. Try and get that to sit level. They've got just about enough to do one more. Or not. No. Okay. Right. I will mix up some more, and I'll cut back when I've done all the others. Mental note, don't stop and start recording while wearing resin-covered gloves. Yuck. Anyway, they're on, they're drying. They're more or less level. I can't touch them now because I take the gloves off. So I'm just going to leave them to set. I was saying that. Ah. There we go. Right. Now they're level. Leave them to set. So it's not going to touch them now. And then when I come back, it'll probably be tomorrow. I think we'll be ready to... Actually, this is it. I think, this episode. I'll see how they are when they set, but I think this is it. This is all I intended to do for this episode. We'll let them set, and then I'll decide. Now I'll touch a resin-covered mouse, and then...
So, while these are printing, I kind of had a bit of a think. I'm going to obviously finish these, and these will be R2's booster colours. For my alternate droid, Ace, the alternate ID, I'm going to use the booster covers already printed that are that much shorter. I'm going to print the extension rods, the extension pieces, and I'm going to use those on Ace's one. Simply being because Ace is my droid, my design, I can get away with how he looks. So if I want a scar across here to cover up a seam, I can do that. R2 doesn't have any scars across there. That's all, I'm going to say pristine. It's not. It's chipped and pitted or whatever. But there's no visible scar line across there. So I'll have the whole one here. It just saves me having to print another set of these out. I mean, these are going to be 14 hours. Yeah, it'll be done by tomorrow morning. But yeah, it just seems a shame not to use the ones I've already got. I may change my mind. I may just print another set out and just be done with it and just say done. But that's my thinking so far: is print the little boosters out, and then that shows both options. You know, if you accidentally print the standard size, this is what you can do, and this is what the long one should look like. And I think that might be the way we go. We'll see, but that's my thinking at the moment.
The resin's dry. I've given it a quick sand with 60 grit. You can see that with a 60 grit sanding block, and that has got rid of the overflow resin. Most of the magnets have stayed flat. It doesn't really matter. So that's actually where I'm going to leave the episode. I just wanted to build the actual main structure of the legs. The next few episodes will be putting the rest of the legs on. But just to give you an idea of how this will look. So this is the ankle that goes with this leg. You can tell because there's an F and an R there. And then on the inside of the ankle, we probably won't see it, there's an F there. So F and F, and actually you can line it up by the holes as well. So as I showed earlier, that just slots in like that. So that's the ankle attached. It will eventually be glued in. And then we look, here's my brand new booster cover that I printed. I need to put the magnets in, but essentially that will sit like that, and you've got the peg holes here and here, so I need to print the pegs, and I'll do that in a minute. So that goes there, roughly. It's not quite lined up, but... And then we have the horseshoe. Now these are the horseshoes of my existing styrene droids, and these are the ones I use for Ace. You can see they've already got magnets on. I'll have to dig these magnets out because, well, you'll see in a second. There's also a silver piece missing here. I need to reprint the silver backing plates. The one I use on the old styrene droid is the Michael Badley one, but I'd sliced off the pieces that line up with these parts here to make it work. So I need to print a new backing for this. This is printed in 3 parts. I printed this a while ago. In fact, these are printed on the end of 3 at a time. These are printed in 3 parts, and you can just about see the join line there. Yeah, and as you can see, they're magnetised. I thought ahead about this. I made the magnets the same way round, so it would work. And it says that one of so those aren't. It's all right. Well, as I said, I've got to dig the magnets out anyway because I need to put longer, thicker magnets in to accommodate for the ring. Sorry, the flat piece. And these, which I'm not going to come out, they're only about 1.5 mm thick. But anyway, so that would snap on like that. Hopefully with all 4 to line it up properly, plus the other bit. And that goes on like that. And then in the middle, you'd have that silver bit I showed you earlier. I since found out that there's another ring I need to print here, which gets screwed down, and that holds the stabilizer nut in. And that goes on like that. There'd be a strut here, and then there's some greeblies on the legs, but essentially, oh, well, a bit here. Essentially, that's the leg. Those are the 3 main components to the legs that attach to it. The rest of it's greeblies. But yeah, that would be an R2 leg. So the next episode, I'm going to look at. Well, the next episode, look at the legs anyway. We'll have a look at the horseshoes. I'll sort the back out on that and put the new magnets in. The booster covers, put the magnets in there. Might do the struts as well. These little greeblies here we'll leave until later on in the video, but we'll put the new stabilizer nut in there, and might even look at the greeblies at the greeblies at the bottom of the ankle as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the moment. Just of course it's not magnetised, so it's not going to hold on very well. I mean, obviously that's quite a wobbly tooth, but there's plenty of pull there, because even considering they're small magnets on the horseshoes, that's quite a strong pull. If the other 2 were there as well, that would be fairly rock solid. The only concern I do have right now is that feels a lot heavier than that. Obviously, I think I might print this a bit too heavy. And there's only the 2 magnets at the top, plus the 2 pins at the bottom. I suppose I could find some magnets to go in there. Would the pins just be better? We'll try the pins for now. And we've got the magnets. And then we'll be set. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope this has helped. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.